Good evening, family, and welcome to Stewardship in Motion here at the Minding Our Business Financial Academy. So, if this is your first time joining us, this space exists for one reason: to help people of faith move from financial drift into alignment, stewardship, not just in theory, but in real life. We come to you live every single Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last week, we really throughout the entire week of January, we focused on awareness. We looked at spending, we looked at habits, we looked at what our money has been quietly saying about our values. And for many people, that was eye popping. But tonight, it's going to be a little different because awareness is powerful, but awareness alone doesn't change anything. Tonight is about motion. So, as usual, let's ground ourselves in scripture. Tonight, it's James chapter 1, verse 22. And it reads like this: Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. That verse is short, but it's heavy. James is saying something uncomfortable. You can hear truth, agree with it, even feel convicted by truth, and still deceive yourselves. If you never act on it, that's just what the word says. Translation for today. Here is our translation to help you apply this to your financial life. Clarity without action creates frustration. Alignment begins when insight turns into obedience. Let me say that again. Clarity without action creates frustration. Alignment begins when insight turns into obedience. That's where many people are stuck right now. They know better, but they haven't moved yet. So, at the core of this problem, here's what I've seen happen after a money audit. So, last Wednesday, we did the audit, and people walked away saying things like, I didn't realize how much we were eating out. I didn't know subscriptions were draining us like that. I didn't realize how inconsistent our giving had become. I see the problem now, but I don't know where to start. And then something dangerous happens. We try to fix everything at once. You overhaul your entire budget, you start cutting everything, you download 4 or 5 apps trying to manage it all, and you promise yourselves this year is going to be different. This month is going to be different. And within 2 weeks, you're completely overwhelmed, discouraged, and stuck again. Here's the truth. Awareness without direction leads to anxiety. God never reveals something just to overwhelm you. He reveals so you can respond. So, you've probably heard me say this before. It's just a slight course correction. So tonight, I want to give you a simple framework, not a budget, not a spreadsheet, and definitely not a guilt trip. A way to move from awareness into alignment. So here's the solution. 3 alignment moves. If you get nothing else from what I'm about to tell you, grab a pen, grab a paper, and get these 3 points. Number 1, move number 1. Choose one misalignment. Not everything, not the whole budget, not your entire financial life, just one. Because alignment doesn't require overhaul, it requires focus. Some of you already know what it is. For some, it's eating out. For others, it's impulse spending. For yet some other folks, it's inconsistent giving. And for many of us, it's our lifestyle creep. Yes, you know, the urge for the bigger car, the bigger house, the bigger vacation, the fancier clothes, whatever it is that is your particular thing, you know where your lifestyle has begun to creep. And when everything is a priority, nothing changes. So here's the question I want you to ask yourselves. It's right here on the screen. What is the one financial habit God is inviting you to realign right now? I don't want you to do this from a perspective of shaming yourself. I don't want you to pressure yourself. This is simply an invitation to listen to that quiet, still voice that you know is telling you you need to change something in your financial life. Let's look at our second move. Redirect before you restrict. A lot of times we do this with our diets too. We just start putting a line through things or restricting things. And then we begin to have that feeling of constraint. We probably will tell yourself something like, I work hard, I deserve. Those are usually the ways we try to punch our way out of that restriction bag. But let's stop doing that. Most people think stewardship is about cutting. You begin to cut the fun, then you cut the joy, and the next thing you know, you're cutting your own freedom. But biblical stewardship isn't subtraction, it's redirection. Instead of saying, I need to stop spending here, ask yourself, where should this money go instead? Because money without assignment would always drift. Maybe that means for you or for some, redirecting a portion of your funds to savings. Start small, start with $200. Or maybe it's redirecting an additional or maybe your foundational $100 to your giving. Or maybe still it's redirecting money into your savings, away from your lifestyle. Again, when that lifestyle budget begins to creep, simply redirect a portion of the funds back towards your savings or maybe even your investing account. This is powerful because it changes the posture. You no longer deprive yourself, you're deciding intentionally. And intention is the beginning of alignment. Let's get into this third point. The third move. Third move to get us back in alignment. Systematize the win. Because insight without structure relies on willpower. And let's just be honest. Willpower always runs out. Let me say this plainly. If it isn't scheduled, it isn't stewarded. When I was in healthcare, we used to say, if you didn't document it, you didn't do it, right? If you're a person who've read Atomic Habits or any of those personal development books on managing your time, they say if it's not scheduled, you won't do it. Let's take the same principle and apply it to our stewardship. Alignment doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from building systems that make the obedience piece of it easier. That might look like for you, automatic transfers between your accounts. Maybe, as I teach, diversify your accounts, separate accounts dedicated to particular purposes and phases of your life. You guys know this if you've heard me before, the weekly check-in. It can be as little as 10 minutes. Remember, I have a form to share with you where you can actually just go through, begin to write down, what did you do last week? What are you planning to do next week as far as your budget and your finances? And here's the big one. Giving becomes your first priority, not your last. God is not asking you to be more motivated. He's asking you to be more faithful. And faithfulness loves structure. If it's not structured, you're not going to do it. That's the reason why you haven't been successful thus far. Now, I want to see if I can engage you all just a little bit here. So let's pause for a second and let's answer this question. I want you to type this in the chat if you're joining me live, or even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll review those and we'll follow up with you next time. What is one financial habit you're committing to realign this week? Just one. Give you 2 seconds to do that. So I want you again, no explanation. This is not perfection, simply just motion, getting the ball rolling. That's what I want you to do. Tracking, setting budgets. I see you all. This is really important. You have to find just one thing to implement into your practice, and that's where you begin to get momentum. So here's what I want you to do. Now, this is our mission for tonight. You don't need a new budget, not right now. You don't need more information. You don't need to master everything. You just need one aligned decision, followed by some sort of structure so that decision sticks and you can repeat it. That's how stewardship becomes motion. It's not loud. It's not this dramatic shift away from what you've been doing. It's surely not going to happen overnight. But you want to pick one thing, decide a structure or a system to support that one change and implement it. Be consistent, intentional, and then you'll begin to get aligned. And when alignment becomes a rhythm, that's where the peace follows. Not because life is perfect, but because your money finally has direction. So let me say this as clearly as I possibly can. This is why Minding Our Business exists. Not to teach people what they already know, but to help them install systems that make alignment automatic. Inside MOB, we don't rush people, we don't shame people, we don't pressure people. We build stewardship one decision at a time. And if tonight stirred something in you, that's not guilt. That's the invitation. And you don't have to walk it out alone. So let me close with this. God is not looking for perfection. He's looking for faithful motion. One decision, one redirection, and one system that you can follow to make sure you execute. And that's how alignment begins. So thank you for being with me tonight. And we'll see you next week for another Stewardship in Motion session. Thanks for joining us at the MOB Academy. Now stop scrolling and go mind your business.